This is the exact abandoned cart flow that we build inside of Klaviyo for every e-commerce brand that we work with. I'm going to show you the full setup, including every email and the strategy so that you can copy this into your business. Now here's something most brands don't want to hear. When a customer gets your email which says you left something in your cart, most of them are thinking, yeah, I know. I left it there for a reason. Maybe it's because they didn't want to pay for shipping, maybe it's because they thought your product was too expensive, or maybe it was one of the 100 other objections that people have when they're shopping online. Regardless of what it is, if your abandoned cart flow is just a reminder email, well, you're not solving any of those objections to get people to come back and buy. But it gets even worse than that, because a lot of brands don't even have the right triggers or conditional splits inside Klaviyo, which means thousands of abandoned carts are just slipping through the cracks and they're not getting a follow-up message. So that's what we're here to fix. To introduce myself, my name's Milan, I run Hamilton Emails. We're Gold Klaviyo partners and we work with over 100 e-commerce brands around the world to generate them over $40 million in email marketing revenue. So what I'm about to show you today isn't theory, it's what's running right now inside our client accounts. I'm going to show you how to set up your abandoned cart flow so everyone who abandons gets a message, and I'm going to show you what message to send so they convert from that message. Okay, so we've just fired up Klaviyo, and the way you set up an abandoned cart flow is you go to flows on the left over here and you click create flow. And then when this loads, you just go abandon and something's going to come up. And so we're going to click abandon checkout reminder. Now, this is what most people think is an abandoned cart flow. However, if you look closely, it says abandoned checkout up here. And in the trigger, if we actually use the template, once it loads, we can see that this says checkout started. Now, why is this important? Because this is what most people think is an abandoned cart flow, but it's not. This is a checkout started flow. If I'm shopping online, let's say I'm on this website, The Iconic, and I'm looking at a pair of Solomons, I want to add this to bag, and I say, hey, let's get this size. I've added this to bag and I leave. I am not going to get abandoned cart flow emails from this point. This checkout started flow only triggers when I go to the checkout page, which is where I put my credit card information. If I drop off before getting to this page, the checkout started flow will not trigger. So how do we set up a flow that actually triggers before when I add an item to cart but don't get to the checkout page? Easy. You need a new metric called the added to cart metric. You can check if you have this installed already by going to analytics over here and then clicking metrics. And then if you go to the search, you search added to cart and you can see that you might have this, or you have an added to cart metric with a Shopify logo here. If you're on Shopify, you can set this metric up through your integration by just uninstalling and then reinstalling your Shopify Klaviyo integration. Or if that doesn't work, there is an article that I'll have in the description on how to set up on-site tracking for Shopify, and this helps you diagnose and set up your added to cart metric. So if you're abandoned cart flow, you need two flows, not one. An abandoned checkout flow and an added to cart flow. Now the way you set up an added to cart flow is you go to create flow and now you click build your own and then you just name this abandoned cart. I'm going to call it test, then click create flow. Then for the trigger, you just want to go down here and click added to cart. And generally the metric will show up automatically. Otherwise, you can go to your metric and you can pick it through one of these options here, or all triggers. Alternatively, you can go to your abandoned checkout flow and you can click the three dots to clone it and then call it your abandoned cart flow test. Click continue and then set the metric to added to cart. And then you clone the flow to set that up. Now, in terms of how we think about which flow triggers for who, we want the abandoned checkout flow to trigger with the highest priority. And for people that don't make it to checkout, we want to trigger the added to cart flow. But if people add to cart and then go to checkout, we want them to get the checkout started flow as a priority. So what we're going to do when we get inside here, we're going to see that it starts when someone starts checkout and then it waits 4 hours and it does a conditional split, which we can see is if someone can receive SMS, they go into the left side. And if they can't receive SMS, they go into the right side to receive an email. Now, how we think about this, if people sign up for SMS, we want them to get SMS and email. Whereas if people don't sign up for SMS, then we want them to only get an email. Now, the reason for this is when we're auditing some accounts, sometimes we see that email actually converts at a higher percentage to SMS. And so by only sending an SMS to the people that signed up for SMS, we might actually be losing some money because people might not check their SMS, but check their email or vice versa. So the way we set that up is we just clone this email over here, email one, and we move this to the SMS side. So now if someone has signed up for SMS, they get an email and an SMS. In terms of the timings, what we're going to do is set it up this way, where we move the delay and we put a delay up here and we change the delay for the SMS side to 30 minutes, and then we clone this and make this 3 hours and 30 minutes. And then we will clone these to add multiple emails in the flow. So now we've got multiple emails in this flow, and we're going to change the delays. So this email sends after 1 day, and then this email sends after 2 days. Okay, let's walk you through what we've done. If someone starts checkout, they have signed up for SMS, then 30 minutes after they start checkout, they will receive an SMS with a code for them to go back and buy. Now, the reason we send this SMS very quickly is because SMS 30 minutes after is the biggest hack for abandoning carts. Interest is at an all-time high, and people can just click the link in their phone to go to the website and check out using Apple Pay. Across the brands that we run this for, we see this convert anywhere from 5 to 10%. If they don't convert from that, then 3.5 hours later, they get an email. And then 20 hours later, they get another email. If they don't convert from that, then 1 day later, they get another email. And if they don't convert from that, then 2 days later, they get one final email. Now, if they didn't sign up for SMS, the same thing happens, but just with emails. They get their first email 4 hours later, and then they go into this side and they keep getting emails 2, 3, and 4 in the same order as the other side. Now, across all of the brands we work with, this is the winning strategy for abandoned checkout flows, and you should duplicate this flow structure into your added to cart flow as well. Now, one final thing we're going to set up before getting into the content is our profile filters. And to do that, you just click edit. So you click this, you click or, and then you click what someone has or has not done. And then you click here, checkout started, 0 times since starting this flow. And then you click and you go what someone has or has not done. And you click added to cart, 0 times starting this flow. So this is what it should look like. Placed order 0 times since starting this flow, or checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, and added to cart 0 times since starting this flow. For your added to cart flow, you want to make sure you have those same profile filters as well. Now, what that's going to mean, like I said a bit earlier, is that if someone adds to cart and then goes to checkout, they only receive the checkout started flow and they don't get 2 flows at the same time. That's what this is going to do. Now that we know how to set it all up inside Klaviyo, let's go into the content so we know exactly what to send. Quick pause before we go ahead. If you run an e-commerce brand that does over $1 million per year in sales, we will build an abandoned cart flow for you that beats what you have by at least 30%. And if it doesn't, we'll give you a full refund. You can click the link in the description to book in a call with me and see if we can help. Otherwise, let's get back to the video. So the first example I'm going to show you is an abandoned cart flow that we send for a toy store. The subject line is, oops, you left some joy behind. Come back and make it theirs today. Now there's one rule to email design, and it's that your headline and call to action have to be above the fold. That means as soon as someone opens up your email, they can see a headline up here and they can see a call to action button which they can click. You can see from this email, they don't have to scroll down at all to know what the email is about. They can open and be like, hey, did playtime distract you? Finish my checkout. I know what the point is and it's immediately visible. So when I open this email on my phone, I can see that button. I can just tap it immediately and it's going to take me back to the website to complete my purchase. And it's a very seamless experience. Then the next thing we have over here is a dynamic block where we add the product that they actually added to cart and left. Now this is important because a lot of people that abandon cart genuinely just forget, and this helps to pique their interest and just remind them what they left behind. However, that's not the only thing that we do, because the next reason why people abandon cart is because they don't trust you. And this is the biggest objection that people have when shopping online. They don't know if their product's going to arrive. They don't know how good it's going to be. They don't even know if you're a real company. So in this flow, we add social proof. See why families love shopping with us. We show different examples of people enjoying the products of this brand, and this helps to build trust, which solves one of the biggest objections in e-commerce. Then there's a few links for them to go back and shop some other products if the product that they forgot isn't what was of interest to them. Now, if a customer is signed up for SMS reminders, well then they will get this SMS from the company 30 minutes after they abandoned their checkout. And it says, hey, you left some joy behind, return to checkout now. Here's a link for you to check out. And like I said, you receive this text, you can just tap on the link, it will take you to the checkout page and you can double tap with Apple Pay to purchase and complete your order. This is the secret sauce of one of the highest converting ways to recover abandoned carts, and it's one of the best uses of your SMS credits. I never recommend doing SMS blasts because it costs thousands of dollars. We only ever really do that if it's a sale or a genuinely good reason, like a product launch, to text people. However, abandoned carts are a genuinely good reason because this is probably the highest intent audience you could send a message to, and the data shows that people respond to this. So we should do it. Now, after that first email for this company, we send a plain text message from the founder solving some more objections. And here we address it head on. We notice you left a few things in your cart and we totally get it. Sometimes hitting checkout comes with a few what ifs. We just want to reassure you of a few things. Number one, safe and flexible payments, whether it's Afterpay, ZipPay, or PayPal Pay in full. Number two, free delivery on orders over $150. Number 3, we dispatch orders fast, so it's going to arrive quickly. Number 4, we're loved by parents and most importantly, kids all over Australia. Now this is 4 objections that these customers have when they're shopping with this company. One of the biggest general objections when people are shopping online is that their favorite payment method isn't available. And we're solving that here. It's like, hey, you have Afterpay, we have ZipPay, we have PayPal Pay. Whatever you want to use, we've got it. Also solves the second biggest objection, is that stuff is expensive. People don't want to pay a lot of money. When people are shopping online, they generally want things for cheaper, and buy now, pay later options help to make things feel cheaper. So it's a 2-in-1. Number 2, shipping. People hate paying for shipping. And this is our free shipping threshold. If you have one as a business, you always want to tell people what it is in your abandoned cart flows. Number 3, waiting for orders. No one wants to wait for orders, so we address them here. And the 4th objection is people just don't trust you. So they're reinforcing this inside the email and saying, hey, we're loved by parents all over Australia. And this is a plain text message from the founder, so it delivers extremely well, and it just builds a lot of credibility and a personal connection between the founders and the customer. Now, in the next email, if they don't convert from the first 2, they get this, and it says, hey, your cart is still waiting for you. We can't wait any longer. Here's your item again. But this time we do a direct comparison between this brand and their competitors. Why is their product better than what else they're looking at? And this is a very important comparison to have, because when someone clicks on your ad, Meta's gonna see that they've clicked on your ad and they're gonna start recommending competitors of yours to that customer as well if they haven't checked out from your store. So this comparison is pretty important because now you're actually selling your brand over what other brands can do. So they're highlighting their unique selling points over here, and then underneath they have a few more selling points, and then again they just have a bunch of links to take them back to the website to help people complete their purchase. For the last email over here, we've actually done a split. So if people's cart is above $150, they qualify for free shipping, so we send them an email saying, hey, you qualify for free shipping, make sure you check out and use it. If it's below, we say, hey, it's just a small amount more that you got to pay to get free shipping. Click here to go back to your cart and add some items and finish. It's just a little bit of personalization to help get people across the line and make this plain text email feel like it's actually from the founder. Now, what you'll notice about this flow is that we didn't actually give a discount, and I'm going to tell you that this flow actually converts extraordinarily well, even without giving a discount. Now, a lot of brands jump to give away a discount, and it does work, and I will show you an example where giving a discount can help you. However, it just signifies that there's a lot of reasons why people abandon cart, and price is just one of those reasons. This flow works well without giving a discount because we solve all of the other objections which are not price. And it shows the customer that we understand them and care about them, which is one of the most important things in marketing. And this flow actually solves objections, which is what gets people to purchase. Now, for this example, I'll show you how we actually use a discount. So this first email from Ali Massi, we say, hey, you're almost there. Here's the product that you left behind. Click here to complete your order. We also have a few unique selling points of this brand to help people get across the line. In the second email, same thing. We have another dynamic block, and we're giving some more unique selling points on why their customers choose this brand. Like, what do they have over the competitors? And we also add in an FAQ section. So one thing this brand notices is that they get a lot of the same questions to their customer support line. So they compiled a lot of these questions and they wrote an answer to them. Now this is important because if you get a question to your customer support line, there's probably 10 people that have thought the same thing and just haven't sent that through. They've just left. Confusion costs conversions. So what we did, we just compiled a lot of the most common questions and we answered them over here so that everyone that's abandoning cart gets the answer to these questions. So notice, first 2 emails, we're focusing exclusively on reminding people that their cart exists and solving objections. It's only once we've tried to solve their objections and get people back without a discount that we lean into a discount. Now look, a discount always works, but in terms of e-commerce profitability, your margin's probably 10 to 30%. Cutting 30%, giving away a 10% discount could mean a third or half of your margins on your item. So you really want to leave it as a last resort rather than giving it out to everyone. So in email 3, we finally do it. It's like, hey, we noticed you haven't checked out. Here's 10% off just for you. And we give them a unique discount code that they can click on and claim 10% on their order to finish. And for the smack bang offer, we also layer it in with some more reasons why they should buy outside of the discount. Like for example, your purchase gives back, we donate X amount of dollars for every purchase to charity. So whenever we give a discount in an abandoned cart flow, we want to play the urgency angle and remind people that, hey, your discount's going to run out 1 or 2 times. And that's exactly what we do here. We say, hey, just so you know, your discount expires soon. Click here to go and use it. And then one more plain text email from the founder saying, hey, your discount's still waiting. Now, just for both of these brands, I've walked through the abandoned checkout flows, but we also have abandoned cart flows that we send as well. However, all we've done in terms of content is just cut the last 2 emails in the abandoned cart flow. Now, the reason the checkout flow is longer is because generally people's interest is higher if they make it deeper into the funnel, and we really don't want to lose those sales. Whereas for the abandoned cart flow, people are still interested, but it's not as interested as the abandoned checkout flow. Now, both of these brands care a lot about their customers and they're worried about spamming people, and we never want to spam people. The only time we ever think about spamming or being aggressive is for people that make it all the way to the end of the funnel and don't convert. It's almost worth offending people with being overbearing to get them across the line at that point, because we've paid all of the marketing costs to get them right up to the end, and it just costs us money to lose them at that point. Now, this abandoned cart flow is for a fashion brand that we work with, and they're a very high-end, luxury-esque fashion brand with a unique aesthetic. Now, with a fashion brand, the strategy is a little bit different, but it's also kind of the same. We want to send 3 to 4 emails in the abandoned cart flow. But with fashion, it's really just, do people like the look of the product that really gets them across the line? Branding is also a lot more important, and with fashion or high-end fashion, trying to sell the product is almost like uncool and just gives people the ick. They want the product to kind of sell itself with fashion. So you can see this example here. How we did it, we actually broke the rules of email design. We just say, hey, your cart is waiting, and we don't have a button above the fold, which is actually wrong for most brands, but with fashion, it's fine because branding. And we just have a big dynamic Klaviyo block showing what people left in their cart. And they can click here to go and complete their purchase. Now for this brand, their hero product was this racer pants. So we actually set up a SKU so that if it has this item in cart, they get this personalized email. And it gives a bit more information about that specific product, some of the benefits, like it has an elastic waistband for easy on and off, and you just have an option to pick the color that you want over here. Then email 2 is another simple email with a dynamic Klaviyo block. And then when that doesn't work, in email 3, we offer a 10% discount. Now look, fashion is different to every other category. I just thought it's worth spending special attention in case you're watching this and thinking, wow, I don't like how any of the others look. But fashion, yeah, it's different. The final flow I'm gonna show you is this one for a skincare company. So the subject line here, we have a dynamic subject line. It says, don't miss out, subscriber's first name. And here it's gonna personalize to the person's name. So it's like, hey, don't miss out, Milan. This is one of the big hacks in subject lines. Like if you can personalize it, it really makes it do significantly better than if you don't. You don't have to believe me, you can just test it. And then we go back to following the rules of email. So headline and call to action above the fold, and we immediately have a link for people to go back and buy from the top of this email. But if they don't do that, there's a dynamic block which shows what item they left in cart. And then we go into solving the objections which causes people to leave in the first place. So one of the big objections is they don't trust this company. So what do? We show them proof. We show them before and afters of this. This is a sunless tanning product, so we show someone getting really tan after using the product. Awesome. Then one thing that this brand has is a quiz to help people find the best product for them. So they can click on this if they don't click on the call to action to find a product that's going to help them achieve this dream outcome. Second email, same sort of thing. Dynamic cart for people to go back and complete their purchase, but then we're solving the objections. People don't trust that it works. So we show a bunch of reviews of people using the product and getting awesome results from it. Then it's only after we've tried that that we offer a discount. And in this email, we give 10% off with a dynamic link, and we're still answering questions. We have an FAQ section here where this is a very common question and we answer it. It's only after that we've tried solving the objections that we offer a discount. And what we do here is we offer a 10% off for returning customers. And for new customers, we actually offer a 15% off discount. And then once we offer that discount, we answer some frequently asked questions that people have about the brand, just to help get people over the edge if they did have this question in mind. And again, whenever you offer a discount, make sure you add an urgency element to it and tell people that their discount's going to expire shortly before it actually expires so they use it. So here, because we've done the split, 15% off and 10% off, we tell people that it's going to expire soon. Now that's the abandoned cart flow that we use for over 100 e-commerce brands. If you want our team to help build an abandoned cart flow for you, we're actually running an offer at the moment where we will build an abandoned cart flow that beats what you have by 30%, and if it doesn't, we'll give you a full refund. And this is for brands that do over $1 million a year in sales. Otherwise, you can just copy what you saw in this video into your business, and that's going to help you get more sales. The important thing is, once those sales come in, it's important that you have a post-purchase flow to turn those one-time customers into repeat customers. So if you want to see the exact post-purchase flow that we've built for over 100 brands, you can watch this video next.